it's such a powerful thing to be abstinent in a world that we're in. It's such a powerful thing to be celibate, to abstain from sexual relationships, from unfulfilling relationships, one night stands, whatever it may be. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Megan, and if you are not and you are a returning subscriber, I thank you all for just being here for today's discussion. Today's topic is going to be on abstinence and celibacy while being single. So I'm gonna share why celibacy and abstinence is a part of my life. I'm gonna be 100% straight up and real with you guys, because it's not really something that I've chosen for myself. It's more so just the kind of person that I am and the person that I have always been. All of my friends can vouch for me. They know 100% that I'm this kind of person. But for some reason, and I don't think it's a bad reason, I think it's a good thing, that I cannot have any type of sexual relationship with somebody that I am not emotionally involved with, or pretty much somebody that I'm in love with. I cannot have any type of sexual relationship with somebody who cannot, or who I am not in love with. This is just how I've always been. You know, I've also experienced sexual relationships that were just, there was nothing attached. I wouldn't say I've done this many times. I've done this maybe a few times, coming out with the realization that this is just who I am. I cannot carry out any type of sexual relationship with anybody that I am not in love with, or anyone that I don't have an emotional connection with. For me, I need something deeper, and that is just the person that I am. So being celibate or being abstinent while being single isn't really something that I would say like, I'm like, okay, this is the decision I'm gonna make. It's more so just the kind of person that I am. And you know, there have been times where I wish that I wasn't like this, but in the end, at the end of the day, I'm proud of the person that I am. I'm proud that I cannot carry out any type of sexual relationship with anybody without there being an emotional tie, because to me, I kind of feel that it does keep me out of a lot of trouble, and it keeps me out of a lot of toxic situations. So when it comes down to this topic, my views on it is that, you know, sex is a very powerful energy. I think a lot of us just think like, oh, what are you talking about? It's just sex, but it's not. It really is a very, very powerful energy. You're being very intimate and open with somebody, and it's definitely an energetic exchange. You know, you are meshing yourself with somebody else, and it's a give and receive. You know, you're giving, you're receiving, the other person is giving, the other person is receiving. It is an energetic exchange. Now, say that you are intimately involved with somebody who is I hate to use this word because I don't see people as broken, but somebody who is toxic, somebody who is low vibration. That's the word I want to use. Say you get involved with somebody who is on a low vibration energy and you are high vibration energy. You know, you get involved with them sexually. Trust me, you are gonna feel what that person is bringing to the table, or bed, should I say. When we sleep with anybody, we're forming a connection with them. Even like people are like, oh, what if it was just a one night stand? It's the same thing. The same thing goes. Even if it was a one night stand, we are forming a connection with this person. And sometimes the connection will dissipate. You know, sometimes we're able to, the situation is able to dissipate on its own, but there are situations where it will linger. And trust me, I've been there, I've done that. Not necessarily a one night stand, but in sexual relationships, you know, that energy will linger around. So for me, I would rather have a sexual relationship with somebody where the foundation is based off of love and mutual respect. I think that's a lot of why I need to be in love with somebody, is because I would rather feel that than have to put myself in a situation where I'm taking somebody's energy that's no good for me. I am also an empath. I don't know if too many people know what this is. I've had psychics tell me this. I have had just strangers or just people that I'm not really close to tell me that they feel like I'm an empath. If you don't know what it is, I'll definitely put either a link or a description of what an empath is. I don't really want to get into a huge discussion about it, but I know that I am 100% empath. I'm able to feel somebody's energy super easy, and I pick up on people's energies very easy. So I also feel like that does play a role in why I can't just sleep with anybody, is because I'm so sensitive to other people's energies that I know that it would 100% affect me, and I've already put myself in situations like that knowing what the outcome will be. So best thing for me is to just avoid that overall. And I also think that, you know, as being a human, we are products of habit. You know, we're so used to making something into a habit, and that habit tells us a lot about who we are. It tells us a lot about our character. And I think in order to really tell the difference between a loyal partner or look into who a person is, and if you're trying to look for that stability overall with getting, you know, sexually involved with somebody, I think you should look at how they are when they're single. How somebody acts when they're single says a lot about them. It says a lot about if they've worked on themselves, if they've healed themselves, if they have, you know, just learned how to, you know, be by themselves. I think a lot of us, when we are by ourselves, we cover it up. You know, we try to get into new relationships. We try to get involved with other partners sexually, and how somebody is when they're single shows who they are going to be later on down the road. That's just how I view it. That's how I see it, because I have seen people when they have freshly became single or during or while they're single, and I have seen them do so much destructive behavior, and they're not working on themselves, and later on it manifests, you know, into a new relationship. Everything that they didn't work on ends up manifesting into a new relationship. So I would say that if you want to find a loyal partner or somebody that you have a good emotional, or I should say a healthy emotional connection with, you should just see how they are while they are single. You know, I've also seen people close to me, people that I know, have meaningless relationships, sexual relationships with people, and it leads nowhere. You know, they're still confused at the end of the day. They're still not put together at the end of the day, and they use it just to cover up how they're feeling at the moment. It's a momentary decision. It's not something that they're thinking about in the long run. You know, they're using it to cover something up. And for me, you know, I think I've maybe had relations like that a few times, and you literally leave the situation and you're just thinking to yourself, like, well, what was that? Like, what was that for? It's an empty feeling. Whatever problem you had before, say you try and cover up with, you know, meaningless sex, your problem is still gonna be there after that whole situation. You're still gonna have to deal with it. You're still gonna have to address it. So to me, to use sex for just temporary pleasure, temporary fixation is not something that I really am for. I don't think it's the best thing for many people. And I think that instead of covering it up, you should just spend that time alone discovering what needs to heal, what needs to be fixed. Because having meaningless relationships, it's just pointless. You know, you're wasting your energy. You're taking in somebody else's energy that most times it's not healthy. It's not a healthy energy that you're taking in. It's a low vibration energy that you are bringing into your space, that you're bringing into your life. And say you're already at the bottom, you're making it so much worse for yourself. So the biggest tip for that, I would say, is to just learn how to spend time with yourself and figure out what it is that needs to be worked on. Say that before I stopped having sex while being single, I definitely was accepting bad behavior from people. I was accepting unfulfilling relationships. And it showed a lot about me, you know, it showed a lot about what I needed to work on. I was also just accepting things that weren't lining up to where I saw myself in the future. I was accepting things that didn't align with my values, with my wants, and it just took so much out of me to keep a relationship with somebody sexually that, you know, wasn't fulfilling me at the end of the day. I gained a lot of clarity. It kept me from a lot of confusing and painful situations, you know, abstaining from sex with partners where it wasn't going to be a fulfilling situation. Gave me a lot of clarity. It kept me from a lot of confusion, a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment. And because sex does that to people, you know, it makes things so much more confusing when you don't have it all figured out, or when you're doing it with somebody who is not emotionally available. But it allows you to really reflect on yourself. It gives you time to really heal, to really find out what you do want and what you do need in a relationship, not just sexually, but just overall in a relationship. I would say for me, I'm not really that interested in like carrying out relationships with people that I'm not gonna be with in the long run. That's just who I've always been. And I think it's allowed me to really heal the problems that were with me. It allowed me to really heal personal problems, you know. It allowed me to get over bad situations, you know, putting myself into bad toxic relationships. Now I know never to do certain things. Now I know what I don't want. Now I know what I do want. It gave me just overall clarity to be able to know when I'm able to get myself into a healthy relationship, to know that I will not accept anything other than a healthy relationship. And I think that's the most important thing, is that now I know exactly what I want and what I don't want. And I think overall, because of this, it changed my approach to relationships overall. You know, it's not always about the sex. Don't get me wrong, I do think that sex is very, very important. Having a healthy sex life is very important in any relationship. I think people who say that it isn't is full of crap, but for me, sex is very important. And because it's important, I don't want to involve myself with anybody that I don't see myself with in the long run. So I don't want to involve myself with anybody where there is no emotional connection and no commitment. I think sex nowadays is so easily accessible. You know, you can just hop on an app and swipe right or swipe left, and it's just so easy to access sex nowadays that I would say that it's such a powerful thing to be abstinent in a world that we're in. It's such a powerful thing to be celibate, to abstain from sexual relationships, from unfulfilling relationships, one night stands, whatever it may be. It is so powerful to be abstinent in a world that we are living in today, because it is just so easy. It's so easy to just sleep around. It's so easy to just, you know, have sex with anybody. And I think out of any quality of anybody, being celibate while being single is probably one of the hardest and most admirable qualities of anyone who goes through being single and not just, you know, sleeping around with anybody. For me, you know, I would say that it's not more so of getting, you know, a commitment of being proposed to, or having a marriage that is going to allow me to sleep with whoever I sleep with next. It's more so just knowing that it's with the right person. I think that's the biggest thing, is knowing that I am giving myself, my energy, my time, and my love to the right person. And that is the biggest thing for me. And it's why I wait around, you know, it's why I don't just sleep with any old Joe. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Before you guys leave, please do not forget to like, subscribe, also hit that notification button, never to miss the latest update on my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.